And we continue to watch Hurricane Erin as it moves farther north up the East Coast, and the impacts are now being felt in New York as high waves, rip currents, those are slamming the coast.
Fox Weather Meteorologist Jane Minar is live in Long Beach, New York, as the waves will keep on rolling on in. Jane, I know it's a little chilly out there, but what are the conditions out there on the beach?
Hey, breezy, and I've got my I can never say it, anemometer, something like that. It's a tongue twister for me. And right now we're looking at, sustained winds around 5 to 10 miles an hour, so nothing too dramatic just yet. There is an opportunity for our northeasterly winds to kick up gusts closer to about 20 as we go throughout the day today. Let's see what this one's bringing. Oh, we just reached 11, so there we go. We've got some breezier conditions. Temperatures are held in the 60s this morning, but we've just achieved high tide. And so now let's take a look at the ocean, because we've got some pretty decent swells moving in right now. Look at this one curving in and crashing ashore as the push of that water comes through. You can see, obviously, we've got a bit of the spray and the ocean push, the sea foam, and this kind of nasty stuff that's been working up along with the tide, all types of garbage and everything in that. But sometimes you can find some treasure. And I found a man on the beach not too long ago. He took out his metal detector. I was talking to Bill. Here's what he had to say.
Not bad right now. I assume it's going to get a lot worse later. But right now it's okay.
So he says it's all right as far as being out here this morning. He said he's got a couple of chains so far on his treasure hunt. But, I asked him, do you typically see maybe a little bit more of a better haul, especially when you see hurricane wave energy like this kind of churning up the ocean? And he said tomorrow he expects it to be a really impressive day. So we'll see what he finds. But in the meantime, we've got the potential for 12 to 16 foot swells as we go throughout the afternoon. In fact, peaking even higher than that as we get into our second round of high tide through the night tonight. Now, not a bunch of surfers are going to be taking advantage of that. One, because of the daytime, we're going to lose our light. But also, two, we were chatting with a couple of surfers. I thought this was interesting. Two, you could tell New York lifers, right? They've been out here surfing these beaches for decades. And they were telling me today doesn't really look all that great just yet. They were kind of weighing the opportunity of getting into the water here. You've got the jetties, of course. We're looking at about 8 to 10 foot waves right now, breaking nicely, but it's choppy and it's kind of a little messy right now, and the sets are coming in a little too quickly. So we've had a couple surfers out there. Maybe we'll see more as we go throughout the afternoon. But nonetheless, the beaches are closed to swimmers. Lifeguards will eventually be on the mounds here, Craig and Bain, which you can see is kind of washed out a little bit. And they're going to be making sure that people are safe, especially those surfers who will try to catch a couple waves.
Yeah, Jane, it's so important. Looking down the coast from you in New Jersey, Atlantic City, we're already seeing some of the beach erosion happen there. Did they do anything to prep that dune that you see behind you? Is that new to help them watch and also to protect part of the beach, or has it just always been there?
Oh, I'm so happy you asked this question, because I've deep dived into beach nourishment projects here on Long Beach, Jones Beach, Rockaway Peninsula. They put in these jetties, in fact. There's one off in front of me to here. I'm going to see if Pete can pan over for me. You get these jetties that are broken up, I'd say probably by a good 50 feet, give or take. That's been really helping to shore up the shoreline here. These mounds are purely for the lifeguards, right? So they kind of give them a little bit of extra height. On a good day, they'll put a chair up there, and then they'll kind of run down into a path into the water if they need to. But those mounds are not anything for beach, I guess, erosion protection. We do have dunes along behind me. These actually came in after Sandy. This wasn't here prior to Sandy, and so that was a big devastation, of course, when we saw that push of water and the coastal flooding and the erosion that occurred during that storm, Superstorm Sandy. That was, 2012, so 2 decades ago, pretty impressive, or a decade ago, impressively. But they've done a lot to shore up the beaches here. Back in 2017, they did the new jetties, and I thought that was interesting, Craig, because the surfers said before the new jetties, which are a good thing, the surfing was a whole lot better. So it kind of disrupts the flow of the waves a little bit.
Maybe not so good for the surfers.
A little give and take.
Exactly. Jane, it looks like you're having some fun out there. Try and stay warm, stay nice and safe, and we'll talk to you in a little bit. That's Fox Weather Meteorologist Jane Minar. Thanks for the update.